I want to showcase a project which I built recently, which is a time tracker application, which I built with Django Web Framework. And if you see the name on the source code, it says Django Inertia, but it doesn't really mean I'm using Inertia in this project, even though I thought about using it at the time I was beginning the project, but then I changed my mind and I used the usual HTML templates instead. Well, it's a pretty simple project, and it uses the facto Django Web Framework approach of having apps within the app. And there are basically two apps in this project. The first is the authentication app, which houses most of the code, if not all, for authentication related functionality in the application, such as the sign up, that is the registration, the login, and the rest of them. So this is the sign up view, this is the login view, and the profile view. Just a pretty basic Django view. But then I kind of prefer using a functional based approach. That's the function views rather than the class based views. And it's just my personal preference. No reasons whatsoever. It's just my personal preference. And now the second app is a tax app. Let's close this, which handles the functionality of creating tags itself. And so that's just it. And if you go to models, you will see okay, I created this timestamp model, which just has two fields. It's an abstract model. As you can see, abstract is set true in the meta, and you have this being inherited by a couple of other models that need to have the created and updated functionality, sorry, fields in the database. And these models just form part of the tracking. Okay, as you can see, the employee model is related to the user model using a one-to-one relationship. The position model is linked to both company and employee model, and the task is linked to both company and employee model as well. And then there is this signal here, which allows an employee to be related to user as soon as the user signs up, and that is in the post save hook. Well, so this is just pretty basic Django project. So let's see how it is. So you can see the project is running on, sorry, on localhost. If we can see the terminal, yeah, running on localhost about 8,000. So now let's go to my Chrome browser, and I'm already logged in as the admin user. And as an admin user, I have some very special privileges, and so these are some of the tags that I've already created, and these tags are in table form. You have the logo, you have the name of the company, started as stuff that title, edit and delete buttons. And now these are the jobs that I have. The way I built this is that a company can have, okay, a user can be employed to more than one company, and then a user can have multiple roles in a company or positions in a company. Now, let's say the company is Google here. The user, being a senior full stack dev in Google, can equally add tasks that are related to his position as senior full stack dev. The same user is employed by Microsoft, which is a company, and he has a position of a legal officer. He can add tasks that are related to legal officers. And then the same user is also a senior full stack dev with Microsoft, and so he can add tasks that are specialized to that role. And the last company, there are three companies here. The last company is TechPath, where he just has one role as software dev. So how this works is, for instance, I can edit this to just be time tracker. So you see that it works. And when I press update, it just updates the task title, and as you can see, deployment of tracker. Simple. And now I can add additional tags here by, for instance, here as a senior dev in TechPath, let's say I'm going to do something. Let me say cook dinner. This is what I'm going to title the task, just cooking dinner. So that's the task, and I'm going to give it a date, which is a, I'm going to give it a current date and time, and we stopped at, let's give it an hour after the current date, and employee, that's the username, my username. Of course, this will be specialized depending on the user that's logged in. So when I click on the add button, it adds the task. Remember, it is cook dinner task, and it is right on the top there. As you can see, it started at 2:42 a.m. stopped at 1:42 a.m. just an hour after. And so that's just it. And as a user, you can own organizations as well. So if you go to organizations here, you can see that you can create a new organization. So let me just create a new organization. I'm going to call this Brainies. Sorry, Brainy, Brainy Inc. Alright, so I'm going to give it a description. This is Brainy Inc. So this organization, I can add a logo to it as well. I don't have many beautiful pictures, but I'll just use this one here as a logo, and I'll press create. So this here is going to be added to the list of companies. Recall that I already have 3, and so this Brainy will be added to the list to make it 4. So now I expect that when I go down here, I have, sorry, when I go to my organization, I have Brainy as my latest company. This is the detail description. And if I go to settings for Brainy, I'll be able to add users as my employees to the company and be able to look at the tasks that they have done or that I have done here. And so these are the users associated to my company. As you can see, this is just the only user I have in this app. So I think I'm going to sign up with a new user so that it will be clear to you. So I'm going to go to my profile. When I get to my profile, I'm going to log out to register a new user. So click on get started. This takes me to login. So let me sign up a new user. So I'm going to give it the name John. Last name is going to be Doe. Username is going to be John Doe. Phone number is going to be my phone number. Email address is going to be my email address. Well, let's use john.doe.com. And then I'm going to give it a password. Alright, see password match. And the user will be signed up automatically. Good, account created successfully. So let's see if I can log in with john@doe.com. john@doe.com, and then password. Oh, incorrect email. Yes, I've been able to log in. As you can see, John Doe has no organizations. John Doe has no jobs. So right now, John Doe can't really do much as his own dashboard is very plain. So now I'll log out and log in with the other user and then see whether I can add John Doe as an employee to my company. So I'm going to sign in with the admin user. It can be any user as well, just a user that has to have a company, all right? So if I sign in with the admin's password and other credentials, I'll go to the admin dashboard where we were before creating the second user, which I call John Doe. It takes me to the admin profile. So now I'm going to go to organizations and I'm going to go to settings for Brainy Incorporated because I want to add John Doe to Brainy Incorporated. And if I enter an email that doesn't exist because this email on Cotec does not exist in my database yet, I'm going to get a very harsh warning, email not found, all that stuff. But if I enter John Doe, johndoe.com, I'm going to give him a position of the software developer and I want to add him. When I click confirm, John Doe has been successfully added. So if I go back here on my staff, I'll see that John Doe is now a staff of my company. So now if I go back to my profile as a company owner, I can add tax to the company, as in John Doe can equally add tax to the company. And so what I have to do right now is to log out so that John Doe will log in and create tax. Now let's see that whether that will be possible. So now johnado.com have the I keep making mistakes. This John Doe's complicated password. Okay, finally John Doe has logged in, and as you can see, Brainy Incorporated is just here. There are no tags yet, so John Doe can easily add tags. So let's say celebration, because once you are employed newly, maybe the first one will be to celebrate. So should that really be a task just for the purpose of this tutorial? So just a mini celebration. And now look at the form. I'll give it the same time and just an hour after, and the employee is John Doe. Alright, so that's it. Brain Incorporated, position software dev, just as I said it should be. And John Doe has added a task, and so John Doe can now see the task that he has entered. Alright, and so this becomes visible. John Doe can equally create his own company, and that's the amazing thing about this app. So John Doe can create John Doe Incorporated and add users as well. John Doe Inc. a company of Johns, company of Johns, and add logo as well. Let's not use this one. Let's use this as the logo. And now John Doe, remember no organizations yet, he will soon have an organization now. John Doe has um okay, if John Doe goes to organizations now, John Doe has John Doe Inc. with the logo company of John's. And from here he can add users to his own company. So this is quite interesting. So let's see if John Doe can add his employer. Oh, that's funny. So now let's forget about this and go and log in with the admin user to see whether its tasks will also be visible. So the admin user, that is the company creator, sorry, oh, that is the brainy company creator. Alright, and now if you check the list of tasks, you see cook dinner, deployment, etc. Well, why is it not here? The tasks that show up here are the tasks that are specific, your own tasks you get. But where you own a company, the tasks don't get to show up here. You have to go to organizations. And now, if you go to settings, for instance, Brainy Incorporated, go to settings, and now you will see the latest task here. We call the time when it was added, celebration, the username, person who added it, the email, John Doe. So this is a pretty simple application. And I believe it is very good for not just individuals, it's also good for companies as well. And oh, thank you all.